Hey guys, this is Meza. Coming from RumblePack 1.62 version, we will be doing a tutorial on Roy today. We'll be focusing mostly on his binary style, and basically to give you a little bit of rundown of Roy, he has a really strong ground game, but he tends to have a lot of wall bounce and launcher moves. So you're gonna see right off the bat, he's really good with spacing and playing footsies. So let's just jump right into it, and I'll start talking about some specifics that we need to mention so you can play Roy better. Okay. So the first thing I do want to talk about is his move speed. So his walk move speed is pretty decent going forward. His walk speed backwards is really slow. He's gonna definitely take a blow when it comes to movement, as in going backwards. His backdash isn't as fast as a lot of other characters, but he has some pretty good jump range and forward mobility. So you're gonna find yourself going forward a lot with Roy. To note some important things about this character, he doesn't have an anti-air. So let's talk about some of his normals. He has his standing A, standing B, standing C, crouching A, crouching B, crouching C, jumping A, jumping B, jumping C. Now, if you notice, none of his grounded moves counter air. So if you want to stop a lot of jump-ins, you're not going to want to press a button on the ground. You're gonna more likely want to jump and press jump B or jump C. I prefer jump B because it has a good range. So as you can see, his standing A is pretty good, but his standing B is what gets him a little bit closer moving forward. But his standing C, this is really important. His standing C, if spaced right, he can keep himself out of harm. And as you see, it has a pretty far range. It has that one of those things I talked about earlier in the other tutorials where it's an invisible hit almost. So the hitbox is a little bit further than what it normally is. Excuse me, I do have hiccups, but I do want to also note that his crouchings are really short, except for his crouching C. His crouching C is going to be a good spacer as well. Moving on from that, let's talk about his jump-ins. His jumping A is good. It's a good spacing poke in, but it's not his best option. It's just one of them. It's really fast, so it's good if you want to meet air to air fights. But I'm still going to tell you now, his jumping B is, if anything, the best normal. One of the better normals in the game, just because of the range and the priority. So you're not gonna want to do jumping C as much unless you're doing a far jump in to kind of get the full max range with being safe or whiffing. So you're not gonna want to whiff B. You could, but whiffing C is just so much better because it actually completely cancels the actual animation. So you're not getting that what if I threw it out there and it didn't hit. So, but let's get to some of his special moves. He has first he has a shadow step. It's done by doing just 236, which is basically quarter circle forward. He can do it repeatedly, kind of like the Kazumas or the Mishimas. He can do it somewhat fast, but not as fast as some other characters who have dash and steps like that. From the dash and step, he does, if you do shadow step into A, he will do a fist, which doesn't launch. So it's just there's nothing that really combos off of it. So you're not going to want to do it as much. Oh yeah, he does have a double jump. So that stuff I talked about with MC Supercut in the past tutorials, you'll be able to do with Roy. So he has a pretty good mix up for jump-ins, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get back to his special moves. Off of his Shadow Step, he also has extended extended club stab. Now the thing with this is it has pretty good range. It keeps him safe from going all the way in, and it's a knockdown, so that makes it even better for his mix-up games, his mind tricks and everything when knocked down. Another thing is, from his Shadow Step, he also has a wall launch, which if you press C after Shadow Step, he will launch you to the wall. Now, if you're good enough, you can do launch, and then you can Shadow Step over and do something else. So, like, you know, do the stab afterwards. So that just depends on how excuse me. That depends on how well you play the character. So from that, he can't cancel Shadow Step into anything else like his other special moves, which he has down back A, which down back A, quarter circle back A, basically just a nice little hit. Has some good hit stun, puts him in plus on hit, so it's good, but he can't really combo off of it. So it's kind of one of those tie-ins to the supers that he has, so that'd be your best option with that. But his quarter circle back B is his launcher. This is really important because these are part of his big damage combos that can, you know, you can combo stuff off of. And then his quarter circle back C, which is a knockdown. It's really good, but it has a lot of startups, so you're not gonna want to run to that to maybe you know, counter somebody. It's more of a damage dealer slash knockdown, so that's what you're gonna use that more for. Another thing about Roy is he only gets 2 launches. He gets up 2 launches, and then people drop. So such as if I do BC quarter circle back B, and then I do it again. Oh, sorry. They'll fall down. So this also applies to his launcher. So I mean his wall bounce, which is really hard to do. Yeah, you have to really delay the kick. They instant fall. So it's kind of important to know this because this just lets you know that you can't do long extended combos, but Roy does get a lot of damage just off of most of his attacks. So there's not too much you really have to worry about for when it comes to damage. But let's talk about some of his combos. A lot of his combos are gonna lead to knockdown setups, which, as I showed you before, you know, he has the double jump, so you can use some pretty funky stuff with it. You know, you got the jumping A, so you know, you got the jumping B, jumping C, which it gives you a lot of mix-up game with this character on Wake Up. But he's terrible. He's terrible on Wake Up. He has no moves to get him out except for Shadow Step, but that's still pushing it because it's not safe. So, and he can't block out of Shadow. He can't block while Shadow Stepping. So, you're gonna find real fast Roy does not want to get knocked down in binary mode. So with that being said, let's talk about some of his big damage combos. As you saw before, I did a launcher combo. You're gonna want to do one of his simple launcher combos into not so much as a wall bounce, but maybe a super or EX. Actually, let me talk about the EX moves real quick. His EX moves, he has the EX stab, which is the only move that he has for the shadow step. So if you do EX and then you do, it's this weird funky motion where you do back and then 2 buttons again, you'll get another move out of it, which is this. So it's pretty cool. It gives you knockdown, but there's not so much damage off of it. So with that being said, another move that he has is the EX knockdown. I'm just gonna call it, because slash knockdown, because blunt knockdown, because the thing is, he's more of a knockdown pressure character. Also, he does a lot of damage, so he doesn't have a lot of EX moves. So his combos are really pretty much simplistic. They're not going to be elongated. You're not going to want to elongate them, since he has a really good poke game, and once he gets in, you want to kind of probably space yourself out if you can't get a good mix up, and then just, you know, poke your way back in. So one combo that a lot of people should be using is you're going to do ABC. So you're going to do ABC, and you're going to shadow step wall. It's better closer to the corner to do this, because you can get a lot more off of it. So you do shadow, and this is instant knockdown. You can see he gets like 25% of your life. So you're gonna do ABC, shadow step, and then C, which is gonna wall bounce. So after you get the wall bounce, you're gonna do ABC again. And now here's the thing: if you don't do A, his B is not fast enough to get off of the wall bounce. So it'll just drop. So you're gonna want to do ABC, shadow step, C, and then A, B, C. And then you're gonna want to go into either a knockdown, or you're going to want to go into a super, which still gives him knockdown. So one of his super is a wall bounce, but it's also gonna give you knockdown if you do the shadow step. Okay. Okay. Here's the thing. You can't really cancel C into super so well, because you get the shadow step. So you're gonna want to do it off a beat. It's a little bit easier. I'm sorry. So, because you'll get that. So you're gonna want to do. Oops. I'm messing it up. Wow, this is really hard. Oh, okay, yeah. No, don't do shadow step and press like the 3 buttons at the same time. Wait for shadow step to go through, and then press your three buttons, because that's how he does a super. So, and it does a wall bounce, but it's kind of a knockdown. You could combo off of it, but it's not the best. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of options for combos. You could do ABC, quarter circle back launch, which is his B. And this allows him to get some pretty hefty damage off of just a launcher, you know. If I could just hit it. So you see, you got 25%, if anything, off of your life, and he gets a free wake up, free knockdown mix up. So another note is his corner combo is instant knockdown. So if you do B, C in air, while they're in the air, it'll do knockdown. So you can't combo off of air to ground, because that's just not how he was meant to be in binary. He was meant to do a lot more damage. He also has a counter super. If I could do it. Okay, I guess I can't do it. But he pretty much puts his club in front of him, and he does like a whole animation graphical thing. But you need the red fairy bar, but that's just a lot more on just reaction. But the only problem with that is you do get shadow steps, so it's kind of hard to do sometimes. But what you're gonna want to do for his corner combo, to get back to that, is you're gonna want to do A, B, C, down back launch. And you're just gonna do it, keep it simple. A, B, C, launch, jump, A, B, C. just to get the knockdown, and then you could start something up. But I mean, Roy is pretty simple. His grab does a wall bounce, so you get a lot of stuff off of his grab. His grab is important. It puts people to the corner. It gives him his big damage combos in the corners because it puts you there. But Roy doesn't really have too much more to him as a binary character, and I think if we were to rate him on a tier list, he's not S tier or, you know, a high A tier. He's maybe a high B tier, considering he doesn't have a lot of options, and a lot of the other characters do get better knockdown mix-ups, and a lot of characters can get out of his mix-ups. He plays a really strong poke game, but other than that, Roy's a pretty easy character to pick up, and he's just pretty simple. He does, if you like big damage and you like a few poke, you know, doing the poke game and a few mix-ups, this is the character for you. But with that being said, that is all with Roy in version 1.62. I hope this was helpful, and there's more to come.